This is London with details. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, talk about NVIDIA, talk about Tesla. Yes, we're up pre-market on Tesla. We are up pre-market on NVIDIA. We caught both of these moves in the back in our VIP. We will talk about the patterns in play, especially, guys, on Bitcoin without a doubt. I want to remind you this is not intended for live trading at all. You're 8 to 10 seconds behind by the nature of YouTube's trade guys, their stream algorithm. So you're operating at a deficit, and in terms of the equities or securities that are involved, you trade. You let us know how your trades work out. We'll trade. We'll let you know how our trades work out. That's the deal. You agree to it when you watch this stream. So in terms of the open, we're going to be up on NVIDIA. We're going to be up on Tesla, and they're out of the starting gate. Indeed, we are up and out of the gate. This is a good open, but I'm going to tell you in terms of NVIDIA versus Tesla, NVIDIA has been taking off. Tesla has been the problem child the last week or so in terms of the specifics. Take a look at your daily. Your daily right now on NVIDIA. You are going to be trying to hold this specific standard deviation line on NVIDIA. You're up and over the 3-minute on NVIDIA. Pay attention to the technicals. This over under on the specific top threshold, that top band on the Bollinger Band is going to be the over under for the market to participate in, as we would look at it. Boom, there the bulls have it in terms of the move up and over. As we would look at and identify out of the starting gates, okay, levels of support or resistance, being able to negotiate in and out of positions quickly is the idea. Now, as we look at, as we were to look at NVIDIA, the important thing is that we are coming into a level of resistance. Let's just note this. You're going to have differentiation on your specific candle wick to level of resistance on your levels, on your lines. Let's say your lines to your candle wicks. On your lines, you're just pushing that breakout right now. Okay, if you have, and I assume that you do, if you're a VIP, I assume that you have a specific underlying interest here. We caught this on the hourly after the breach back up and over the level of, guys, this preceding lateral here. This was a nice move to catch. I'm assuming that you have a long interest right now. Once we identified the critical breakdown level on NVIDIA, pay attention in the back. Once we identified this critical breakdown level, and once we got back up and above the specific flat bottom support to pull a blackjack move, double bottom, single pass through, bam, up and out. This period in here, and I'll just say that we also identified, most importantly, possibly, don't over rely on them, would be this broadening bottom situation, a big time reversal pattern that we enjoy trading. So this is what's going on in terms of the hourly. Do note that you have a different level of expression in terms of the level of resistance. So we're not seeing conformance across the different time frames. That's not to our liking per se. So while it's a breakout, I don't want to get you too excited for the breakout, just for the following reason, that there is some variability as you're going to look at. For instance, just draw in from the 4 hourly to the 1 hourly, and just as we had along the bottom. As we had along the bottom, pay attention. If we were to mark out on NVIDIA, we'll be right back with Tesla. How's Tesla doing? Tesla up over and out, holding up and over some guys, some levels of potential resistance flip to support. You can see on the 4 hourly, that would be your level in play. Your 4 hourly coming into contact potentially with that top side band. I'd keep an eye on that top side band. The daily and the 8 hourly, we can flip over to the 6 hourly just to cover Tesla real quickly, just to cover the specifics here. If we were to look at the top side band on the 6 hourly, 6 hourly is highly relevant. You guys have seen this consistently over the preceding number of weeks. Just pay attention to the 6 hourly. Make sure you have it on your screen. We're limited to just this screen framework on the open. As you all know, the big hurdle today is going to be, if and to the extent Tesla can get up to that 20 moving average, would be a nice trade opportunity. And as we would look at back at NVIDIA, just to check in one moment here with Tesla, let's just remind that the specific, and let me draw this in with a horizontal line. We won't spend too long. I wanted to at least cover the variable framework of NVIDIA. I think it's very important, and the reason why it's important is we caught the bottom in terms of this hourly was a critical level at the bottom. You agree, the hourly, this level of support, and as we folded into the specific broadening bottom formation, which the majority of which will be bullish, okay, a broadening bottom formation, as we identified the critical, guys, the critical component of that hourly technical information. Once we were back up and over here, we had an argument to move up. So this hourly was a critical time frame. I want you just to consider this higher level of resistance, particularly if you are looking at any kind of a breakout trade. That is danger city. We prefer always to be involved down in, guys, at the lower levels is the bottom line. So taking a look at NVIDIA to the upside, about a 13, I think maxed out at 15% once we crawled back up and over that hourly line. So just pay attention to the hourly level of resistance instead of just the 4 hourly level of resistance, okay? Something the traders right now are focused on due to the prominence of the pickup level at the bottom of NVIDIA, entailing what? Entailing that hourly time frame, okay? That hourly dynamic pushed lower on the lateral to the left, okay? Pushed us lower than what? If we were to go to the 4 hourly, you're gonna see, yes, pushed us lower than the specific pickups on the 4 hourly time frame. So that hourly was critical as we looked at it, and it did hop back up and over that hourly relatively quickly, which was nice instead of a little bit more of a grueling time on that 4 hourly time frame. So be aware of the variable nature of the breakout. When you're looking at 10+% on your move, it's not the time to just fold the cards, is it? I don't believe so. What would be the key indicator that the bulls aren't necessarily ready to just go home? Would be, I'd say, if they were to make an argument. Let's look if they were to make an argument in terms of just let's pack our bags, let's go home. Let's pack our bags and go home, would say the bulls. Okay, well, you might want to consult the NASDAQ. If you want to pack your bags and go home, you can. If you want to pack your bags, go home, get out of your long positions, you can, but I would pay attention to the bull flag on the 45-minute. I'd pay attention to that bull flag also on the specific hourly. Pay attention to the bull flag on the NASDAQ on the 4 hourly. And typically, I'll tell you, if you want to lock in and secure profits, it's fine. If you're accustomed to hedge frameworks that we do cover, I'll just tell you, if you're locking in profits and going to play a breakout, make sure you understand after hours market trading. Again, this is not intended for you to operate off of. In terms of your trades, I will tell you that you can print this chart, period. You can print it, you can put it on the front of any trade book, journal, or anything else that you have, and you can just have it. That's it, because it is a nice looking, very highly conformant bull flag on the NASDAQ, okay? So looking at that, it reminds us of how well-formed the Tesla chart was and the Tesla bull flag that we traded, right? So we were lucky, I'm gonna say this, guys, we were fortunate enough to have a clean breakout, boom, up and over on Tesla. So to the extent the NASDAQ is trading, some of you may choose to trade the NASDAQ. It trades on BTCC, not as a security, as a tokenized, how they have it listed with it, a tokenized commodity as they would look at it. So fully regulated, et cetera. You guys take a look at that in your own time. Let's take a look at the overall specifics on Bitcoin while we wait for a bit of price action, and we'll let you go early. I just wanted to cover the basics. We have an upward slanting channel as of this moment in time on Bitcoin. Is it bullish per se? No, not per se. The majority of these are going to break at some point, going to break to the downside. With that said, we're going to be gauging our momentum. Okay, our momentum, the daily momentum has an issue right now. If you're going to look at the daily momentum, that's our one big, larger time frame dynamic that I would bring to your attention. It does appear that it's rolling over on Bitcoin. We can't take that. The MACD momentum, look at your squeeze, MACD momentum, it's just not in the position that we'd like to see it right now for Bitcoin. It can turn around, it can juke the market, it can do a double pump in terms of getting up and over that specific, let's just say the threshold. It's just rounding. We'll look at the pivot here as our machine learning suite decides to load. We'll take a look at Tesla as well. Assessing that 4 hourly momentum has been nice. We still haven't technically, achieved, I'd say, an overbought level. If you're going to assess that MACD momentum, we still have a ways to go, and it would just be nice to see us perform on Tesla in line with one of these moves, right? So the equivalent here is going to be what's the current assessment on Tesla. Just pay attention to this. The current assessment on Tesla is going to be the following. Can this bull flag work out? We have this midline deviation here. This would just be an incredible trade. You understand, if you own, please pay attention, if you own Tesla here, which we caught, again, we caught NVIDIA. Fact, yes. In the back. Broadening formation, yes. We caught this Fact, we caught it in the back, okay? This is the no complaint zone. Congratulations and welcome to the no complaint zone. We caught NVIDIA, we caught Tesla. These are good levels to catch, guys. These are good moves to catch in the market. You should be extremely satisfied with your participation in the market. We pushed a bit here. Nice to see this 50%. I did let you know, scaling, ladders and scales means what? Have a position. So nice to see Tesla up. Adding to that position 2.46% today. Looking at Bitcoin now on the specific daily. Let's revisit that MACD momentum. And yes, we are cruising around the top, establishing a bit of a pivot on that momentum. I'll just tell you that the momentum has been very difficult recently. It's been very difficult and spotty on the 4-hourly, on the daily, etc. So pay attention to that MACD momentum and the fact that it's been unpredictable. What does that mean? Does it mean you shouldn't trade? No, it means that you should look for, when you don't, let's say when you have a tricky indicator or something that is providing a lack of reliability, look for that extra level of confirmation. Okay, look for the extra level of confirmation. What's been killing it are fire and ice. I can't count the number of 4-hourly top pro and lower pro line hits that have come in from fire and ice. Literally, guys, it's been a very, very nice ride with fire and ice as of recently. And good morning to Scotland. Hope all is well. Good morning, Scotland. Hope you are trading. I want to see some trades, guys. That's the bottom line. I get up early and do this, and I want to see some trades. It's I've been up since 3 a.m. I like to see some trades. And around hour 3 and 4, it's nice to see them. I hope you're all doing well. We catch a lot of these moves. We catch a lot of, let me reconnect here. We catch a lot of important work that starts at 3 a.m. on this end. So it's not just a kind request. It is what I want to see. When I'm up at 3 a.m. doing technicals, too much to ask? Well, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Why would that be? Well, Tesla was a nice pickup at the 50% on ladders and scales, wasn't it? Sure was. I mean, was NVIDIA was a nice pickup on that broadening bottom, wasn't it? Yeah, it really was. Those are like the two top moving equity. We trade them as tokenized equities that we would really know of, isn't it? Yeah, we got those. Good job. Congratulations. That's why the hours work. The work hours start here at 3 a.m. is to accommodate that level of success and make sure that we're the ones that are able to say, no, we caught that, and we caught that. And I want to look at every good move across the board and say, and we caught it. Bam. Okay, so that's the bottom line. Looking at a breakout at, and it's non-negotiable. Period. That's just it. And I can continue to say it. It's just non-negotiable in terms of what I want to see if I'm up at 3 a.m. doing 4 straight hours of T8 to bring in good moves for everybody. It's the bottom line. It's just non-negotiable. 227. Let me take a look at this. Definitely not too much to ask. Period. I'm saying. Let's look at the two. Two in terms of a breakout potential. 226.83 on Tesla. If you're looking for a breakout, 226.83 market target. That's your line on a breakout up and over for Tesla. We do have a gap fill and mind the position at 205. 205.62 below. In terms of a gap on the day, we have a 220 flat, okay, 220 flat, and you are pushing into your hourly cap line, which is your current hurdle. So given a little bit of time through this equation, back up a bit, let's see if we can get up and over that 226.83 without a doubt. And again, if you have a ride interest, okay, if you have a ride interest, what I'm going to suggest is the following. If you have your 50% pickup, good. You have the option now. If you got a flash trade and you got a carry trade, I've said that a million times the last 2 weeks, understand why. Because if you have a flash trade and a carry trade, and we're at a breakout position, if you want to cash in your flash here, bam, and you're out. If you have multiple levels of interest and you're comfortable, right? You may have 3 levels of established interest on anything that we trade and say, okay, I'm going to get in here. I want a 3-wide or a 4-wide position. I want to be able to take quick. I want a middle point take. I want a top level take, and then I'm going to have a ride position. And I'm comfortable taking here and everything else exhausting. I'm comfortable taking here and here and then everything else exhausting. I'm comfortable taking the first, second, and third and then exhausting. Or I'm comfortable taking at the first, second, and third tier and letting the fourth rock and roll. So if you're not structuring in your trades like that, you're going to be going through the difficulty of, is it going to go up further or not? You're not going to be comfortable in terms of your participation in the market, which is why I repeat this, and I want you guys to do very well. I want you to succeed, and I don't want you to be caught in a position where you have one card to play. You've walked up, it's blackjack, you're at the blackjack table, and you have one card. All right, it's not the way blackjack works. You got to roll with the punches. You got to have, guys, you have to have ability to play in with the different challenges that you're going to encounter in the market, i.e., not just one position. If you're relying on one card, you're not going to make it, guys. You're always going to be looking just purely directional, and the same applies with shorts. As guys, as we're talking about in terms of a long scenario. So this is the NASDAQ. It's in a bull flag. So before you would just say, well, I'm holding on to one position, this is the critical key. The key is looking at the fact that you have one position. And we've been talking about it. I'm reframing it because I don't want to be super nice about it, because if you only have one position and you've been trading and you've been listening for weeks, you haven't heard me. And right now you're in an uncomfortable position. And it's, well, I'll just take part of my profits from part of my deal. Well, you're uncomfortable. The whole idea is to set up levels of interaction with the market where you're completely comfortable. And if it's literally just a matter of you're deciding to be completely comfortable or not, I'm going to, guys, raise the roof and make sure that you're comfortable in the market. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in all the hours. I'm going to continually nag you and remind you to try and make you comfortable in the market. And once you're comfortable in the market and you're doing this with a multi-level approach, you've got your flash trades, carry trades, call them if you want to, your daily, your weekly, your monthly trades all stacked in and ready to go. Guys, if you're prepared, you're going to be operating at a different level of comfort, right, in the market, and it's going to be a much more rewarding, as unfun as it is to continue to bring up the same thing. It's just worth it. I know it's going to be worth it because you're not going to be uncomfortable in the market. You're not going to be sitting there looking at your position and be disappointed that you don't have the positions that you want. So let's do one thing, okay? If you're in that circumstance now, let's fix it. You're welcome. Venus, nice to see you. Bam. Nice to see you, Venus. Always California in the house. What's going on, Venus? Hope your morning is going great. And Venus is rocking and rolling guys, in the market. It's such a pleasure to do business with you in 2023 and beyond. Incoming, awesome 2024, guys. It's going to be just incredible. We have taken the market by storm this year. It's been great. Let's take a look at Tesla and round it out. And I look at this and I take for granted that you guys know the hourly's in play on Bitcoin. We got the hourly in play, green byline, 15-minute. We've got the 5-minute that's pushed down in through its green byline. The 4-hourly's been a little bit coy. We've been a strong cap line and just off of the top of the 20 moving average. But the 4-hourly has printed cash on fire and ice. And if you haven't printed any cash on it, look at your trade strategy and you ask yourself what needs to change. Because the 4-hourly, fire, sale, guys, fire and ice, the 4-hourly, it's the pro levels, lower and upper pro line on the 4-hourly has printed money. So if you haven't made money on it, or if you have, congratulations. If you haven't, you look at what you need to do. Do you have alerts set on the 4-hourly? If you don't, you're literally taking a bucket of cash and throwing it into the road. Literally just doing that on purpose. I don't want to see you do that because you're not going to be as happy if you guys respect the technicals that are in play. It's not anything other than some advanced calculations that are just generating cash. So that's the bottom line. I want you guys to do well. These are the tickets to the top profit equation in town. That's the bottom line. Where are we prepared? You know, along a level of support, indeed. We had a few nice bell actions. We have a breakout on the charts. Where are we at on the breakout? You guys have that in the back, do you not? Variability noted here in terms of the candle wick on Bitcoin. Looking at a potential for a breakout, and we're going to pay attention to an included cup and handle, or one that is frustrated to the left in terms of an obstacle, but up and over. Let's just pay attention to this on Bitcoin so you can mark this. It's going to be on the hourly. We're going to be looking at 35,317 is going to be the level to beat. Bottom line, we're going to be engaging with that cup and handle. Pay attention to these cup and handles because Bitcoin is starting to borrow these from the equity markets. Why we pay attention to the equities, you guys know that. So Bitcoin's starting to borrow these included cup and handles from from the equities. Equities, Tesla particularly, is loving to just set these up and over with a level, an obstacle to the left, and bam, up and over, right? So nice to see that. And in terms of NVIDIA, I'm just gonna remind you of the multi-level approach here in terms of this. We're at the point of breakout is the bottom line for your equities. Just understand the market is hot, and looking at this. This is a pattern that comes along rarely enough on the NASDAQ. You look back, you see, when have we had something that looks that good? I mean, out of all honesty and every amount of technical decency that we can throw at this, when is the last bull flag that we had like that on the NASDAQ? Have we ever had a bull flag that looked like that on the NASDAQ? I'm serious, guys. Look at that. We're looking at the last 10 years plus. Have we ever had a bull flag that looked like that? No, we have not. So in terms of that, be excited. If there's a frustrating factor that's encountering you in the market today, if there's something that, well, I got this wrong, I got that wrong. If anything is bothering you in the market today, you take a look at this pattern. This is your feel-good moment of the day, of the week, for the rest of the month, is this specific bull flag on the NASDAQ. This is a no complaint zone reinforcement. We don't need a comment box. You look at this specific pattern on the NASDAQ, and if you want to trade it, dig in and trade it, period. I'm going to tell you, not financial advice, former hedge fund owner. You guys know this whole stream is delayed 8 to 10 seconds, so it's certainly not meant for you to trade off of. And if you're with our group and you are trading, I'm going to make sure it's with BTCC because they're the best guys in town. I appreciate all the guys from UK this morning. Great talk about the future in terms of what all is being planned, and we appreciate you bringing in the S&P 500, the SPX, Spider. Nice stuff, guys, in terms of SPX. We're looking forward to trading NASDAQ, SPX. Guys, all the hot, really Mag 7s are there, and we're just excited about, we're excited to be able to work with BTCC because they're personal guys who can check up on anything and really just care about a long-term relationship, and I find that very rare in today's environment. So let's see if there's anything else that we want to talk about very, very quickly. Caught NVIDIA, caught Tesla. Sorry about last week. In terms of that, we had a new hardware set up, and we just had we had what we had in terms of some complications in terms of streaming. So we had the breakout on Bitcoin. You guys got that at 35,317. You got that. We have. Let me take a look at where we're at on NVIDIA. See if we can get a legitimate breakout level. Let's see what we've got riding into that hourly. I hate to sound like that, but the hourly golden short and the 8 hourly. We're going to go into the 6 hourly here on NVIDIA. Make sure that you're paying attention to that 6 hourly, if you would, on your equities instead of that 8 hourly, please, on NVIDIA and Tesla. Just note that. Okay, so in terms of a breakout, we just need some massive additional momentum. We do. Look at your daily. Your golden short's going to try and hold, and really we have. Guys, we have a big move to try and complete, and it's going to be up to the big movers in the market to push the NASDAQ up, out, and over. And it's just an interesting time for us because as you would look at your participation, it's really an opportunity for us to say once, pay attention, it's an opportunity for us to say, all right, but between Microsoft and Meta and everything else, we've got AMD and all the other players in the NASDAQ, what I would say is maybe, I don't know, maybe this would be an attractive, do you think, an attractive pattern to trade. I'm going to let you guys settle in with that. You realize we would prefer a little bit of a pullback here. Would be nice. We don't want to extend this channel on the NASDAQ. We just don't. But I don't care what this chart is or what it belongs to. If it's a soybean future contract, I'm interested, right? Period. Right? If I'm buying and selling electricity on power grid in Indonesia and the price chart looks like this, I'm interested. I got to tell you. So that's the NASDAQ, and it's a nice dynamic as we look at some great pickups from last week. You got it. From great pickups last week, NVIDIA and Tesla. Okay, the broadening bottom. Okay, we'll just call it the broadening bottom on NVIDIA that we caught, the 50% retrace on Tesla that we brought, that we caught. This is a nice pattern to take a look at. We've been about 22 minutes, 23 minutes into the trade session, and I'll just say this is the best pattern that you can look at right now. In terms of carry positions, you know, anyone who wants to hightail it out of this market and run for cover, you can. It's just not within our programmable DNA for us to just run screaming and scared, and the sky is falling with something like this that's staring us in the face. So we have that to put us in a good mood all week long. Let's see how she does. Way to go, VIP. Excited. If I'm pushing you guys, it's because I want you to enjoy the markets and I want you to enjoy your profits from the markets. That's it. You got it right. I want you to. We can have a nice little soft, warm, fuzzy meeting every morning. No problem. Everybody feeling good. Everybody doing good. No, we want to beat the market, and I don't want anybody to beat you in the market is the bottom line. So that's what we're geared towards. It's an exciting pattern on the NASDAQ. We've got some levels to beat on Tesla. We've got some levels to beat on NVIDIA. Let's dig into the micro after some great pickups last week, and let's see if we can put together some extra steam and juice somewhere on this pattern on Bitcoin. Can we get out, up, and over? And again, we have that. We're gonna have a micro included, and we've traded multiple of these the last few days. You guys know that. So we've got a breakout on a micro basis here in line with this bell. Careful of, just understand in terms of a pullback, you're always gonna have orders back down and below after a breakout. But that's the level of volatility that we want, and we'll be back to you hopefully with the close. And if you didn't catch the moves from last week, if you didn't catch any of the moves, I'm gonna tell you guys this, from any of the tangential, I don't want to bring them up. You know how many gains there were in the back? This is the no complaint zone, zero complaint zone. If you're finding a way to complain internally or otherwise, it's just not the time to do it, guys. It's just not. I'm going to tell you why. Because look, you've got this to focus on. I'd focus on this instead of complaining. Just me. If you want to do well this week, let's go. Look at this specific 80% move. Where did you guys get this 80% move? That would be right here before the 80% started. Boom, nice move, right? Nice move. We talked about, for instance, this 178% was likely to trade, right? Wow, that was a nice move. This specific move talked about scaling and laddering in before the 62% move. You got it. Nice to see some additional as XRP. Nice to see some additional favorable rulings, right? We even caught this little 27% move. Not bad, right? So between the 80, the 20, the 40, the 160, the whatever we got, look, if it's worth your time, spend your time on it. If it's not worth your time, don't spend your time on it. But don't spend, you guys, just as you look at the market, work on being satisfied with the equation of what you're putting into it, what you're getting out of it, and what you're focusing on. That's my end all be all, go for it. And we'll be back with you later today. I'm just happy to see that our stream is working. So that's a big bonus for the week. We have 0 dropped frames. That is so nice. I appreciate everybody, including Evan. I want to shout out to Lucas, our guy in our dev team in Switzerland. We are putting together the coolest, guys, you have no idea. We have a lot of great indicators. We are in the process of designed out the most incredible indicator that I just am personally, I am personally extremely excited about using this one. It's gonna rock and roll. So in terms of the details, let's go through it. Let's hit it today. I'm gonna go hit the iron real quickly. I have been up since forever, working on some TA and some good things for you guys here domestic and overseas, including with Lucas. So shout out to Switzerland. And we'll talk with you guys soon. What a nice pattern. Picture it, take a picture of it, frame it, and I want you to do one thing on this pattern. I want you to put a piece of tape on the pattern if you can. I want you to put after you put this on your wall, I want you to put a piece of tape on it. Listen up. I want you to put a piece of tape on this pattern. This is a great one here. You're gonna like this. I want you to put a piece of tape on the pattern, and I want you to do this. I want you to, this is gonna be good. I want you to print this out, and I want you to put a piece of tape on this pattern, and I want you to say the following. You write in a pen, I did not trade this because, here we go. I did not trade this, if I can read what I'm typing. I did not trade this because, and then I want you to provide on that piece of tape that you're going to put this on your wall in front of you. I want you to provide the justification or your rationale for you're not trading this pattern. I want to know. Now, you may have an incredible reason why you don't trade the pattern. But when the pattern plays out, given the fact that we haven't seen a pattern like this in like 10 years, okay, I want you to be able to look at this right now, print it out, write down your reason. And you can even put, I did not trade this because, or you can put, I did trade this because. And I want you to make yourself do an analysis on this specific pattern and the technical indicators that are in play. And then I'd like you to be able to keep, guys, this as your own record as to whether or not we pour to the downside with the best technical assessment and the best bull flag on the NASDAQ that you can bring up. I want to see that you did or you did not trade this pattern. I want to see that you traded it or you decided not to trade it. I want you to do your technical work on it. And if this were to absolutely hammer to the upside, I want you to not just look at a pattern and a probability, but I want you to have done the legwork to where you own this right here. That's what's going to satisfy you in the market, okay? Is doing the legwork. As we look at the technicals in the background, I want you to put a piece of tape over it. I'm serious. Put a piece of tape over this pattern and say, I am going to trade it or I am not going to trade it. And if you have a good justification as to why you will or won't, fantastic. But I do not want to see this beautiful of a pattern go to waste in the terms of a trade op that it is, right? I don't want to see this, and I don't want to see this without you having done some analytical personal work into this. We'll go over some specifics in the back without a doubt, but the key is this is a once a 10 year, guys, pattern. Can it fail? Sure. But when you get the 1 out of every 10 years, this is an opportunity for you to engage in the market, right? It's not just another pattern. It's not just another this and that, guys, in terms of, well, it's a bull flag. I'll find this on an altcoin. I'm going to find this on Dogecoin in the next 6 months. I don't have to trade this. Come on, guys. This is a beautiful pattern. This is where it's at. It's a nice pattern. Pay attention to it. Put it on your priority list. That's my recommendation. Now you can take my recommendation and you can take your recommendation and you can supersede. I'm going to recommend you supersede my recommendation with your own recommendation. And you say, well, that's fine. I'm not going to trade it. At least write it down why you don't. Okay? And in the back, if you say you didn't and you didn't want to, then show yourself in the future maybe how you could have shorted it if you wanted to short it. Well, I knew it was going down, you might say. That's why I didn't trade it. Great. Then if you didn't short it, how could you have shorted it? All right? I want this to be a position in the market as we look at a Q4 and a strong Q4 that this is a mover. This right here doesn't get ignored in our group. This is a big deal. Yeah, you're staring at a very big deal in the market. Big deal. We got it? Got it. You guys have a great morning. I'm going to go hit the iron. I will talk with you soon. Good open. We'll just say good open for anyone who had some positions. Cooling off Tesla. NVDA is still running pretty strong. We're going to be looking for some additional hot moves on Bitcoin. We know that breakout level included cup and handle. Just continue to watch how those equity patterns are being borrowed by the Bitcoin market. And we would hope to see that additionally if there's some further institutionalization in the Bitcoin market, i.e. ETF. Yes, so all of this time for naught if you choose not to trade this because, well, I just don't trade the NASDAQ. Fine, no problem, no problem. If you just don't trade that, that's no problem. That's a great enough reason alone. You write that down. Maybe that'll change in a year. Maybe that'll change in 2 months, 3 months, or 2 days, or 2 or 3 hours. It can change quickly. But if you don't want to trade it, why? I don't care, guys. If it's a soybean future contract, I want to trade this. You guys want to trade it? Let's trade it. We line these up from the East Coast to the West Coast, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. Let's trade them. You guys want to trade them? Let's trade them. Talk to you guys soon. Great to stream with you this morning. And we'll talk to you soon, guys. That's it. Be good. It's another week, and Q4 is going to be the strongest quarter we've had to date, period. Look at that chart. Look at it. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.